This week, Gold Tip's force is headed deep into the Canadian wilderness to hunt one of the largest migrations of caribou in all of North America. And Ray will be slithering through the landscape with Bowtex and Gold Tips while trying to close the distance on some nice bulls.
Now, anytime you're in Alaska or you're up in British Columbia or you're out in the vast wilderness areas like here in Quebec, weather plays a huge factor. And what's really funny is this northern territory, the weather changes hourly. You know, you'll be having blue skies, you look over an hour later and this big cloud storm comes in and the rains start and the temperature drops another 30 degrees. It really does have a factor on how fast those caribou are migrating and wind direction.
They have these great beaver, these float planes, they carry a lot of gear, a lot of people, and the main thing is that you're able to move. I mean, so they were going to put us in the furthest north camp to make sure when those caribou first hit, we were going to get a great shot at them.
We got into camp and for 2 solid days, nothing really showed up. We went out, we searched around, we were looking for tracks, we were looking off in the distance, we could see for miles. There wasn't even any sign of caribou. Caribou had not been there for an entire year. And then, you know, you wonder, well, the next day, well, hopefully a few caribou will show up. And then, you know, we're always waiting for that time when the big migratory herd comes in, and we thought it would come in slowly and start to trickle. And the absolute opposite happened. We went from having no caribou one day, waking up the next morning, looking off in the distance from camp and seeing caribou. And when we started to move towards them, they were everywhere. Now, this was the third time that Ray was hunting caribou, and so I had picked his brain. I had found out a lot of information way before this hunt. I was excited to be able to go to the largest migrating herd in all of North America and be able to hunt a caribou for the first time.
You know, it's really cool. You get into camp and, you know, this is the furthest north camp, and everybody's got this anticipation building. I mean, they know the caribou are coming, their guides are ready, the cook's ready, the camp's ready. And when we finally got up on the third morning, and one of the guides comes in and says, guys, we have caribou on the ridge. Well, that ridge wasn't just behind camp. That ridge was like 1.5 miles, 2 miles away.
Yesterday we were out scouting around and the black flies I had a fist fight with, and they won. Adrian! Adrian! I'm looking like not very good on camera today, but I'm happy because we're caribou hunting. As we travel around and we target different species and different types of animals, we've got to see a lot of different diversity of animals and plants and species and habitat. But never before have I ever seen that many animals concentrated in one place. I mean, everywhere you look, there was caribou. Guys, if you've never come out to Quebec and seen anything like this or even experienced it, it's like, I don't care if you do it with a bow or a gun and with some buddies and friends and family, I'm telling you, this is just a crazy, crazy place to come and be able to do this. I mean, we're so far up north, and over 500,000 caribou most likely will travel right through this land over the next month and a half. And to be here during prime time like this, it's just spectacular.
I mean, this is just unbelievable. I mean, for a bow hunter, spot and stock, this is something you have to do in your lifetime. You need to get a hold of Kurt. This is a have to do. It's just midday, they're just trying to stay out of the bugs.
Yeah, that's why they're standing on the rock. It's quite interesting because in this lower grassland is where all the bugs are, and they're physically standing on the rock just trying to stay out of the bugs.
See a couple of them, a cow and a calf, just come on. Well, let's see if we can't sneak up there.
Oh. All right, dude, let's do it.
When we return, Ray will be sneaking in solo, working closer for a shot, with hopes that one of the hundreds of eyes don't bust him before he gets a shot. They will be hunting with Kurt Santoro of Safari Nordic.
Throughout Quebec, Canada, they have had more successful hunts and ran more hunters through their camps than anybody else in history. At their peak, they were running over 1,200 caribou hunters in and out of their camps every year, with 58 sites, with 24 of them being active.
These caribou are going to migrate through, starting at the further north camps and ending up migrating through the further southern camps. And Jimmy and I are in the very first hunt of the year. By using satellite tracking information, we knew through Nick that the caribou had started to migrate to the south, and they were only within about 70 miles of the furthest north camp.
You know, in 1989, I first found out about the Quebec Labrador herd. At that time, they were talking about 2.5 million animals that migrated. And so I had always dreamed about coming, and I wish that I would have taken this trip earlier. I had been invited a couple of times, and just because September is so important to me and I spend most of my time elk hunting, and then when I found out that we could be the first ones in camp and go in August, I was in. I was excited. Ray and I were headed to Quebec for the largest caribou migration in all of North America. You know, out here in the tundra, it goes on forever. Here we are positioned over 100 miles from the nearest small town. We're at the farthest northern camp possible.
But the terrain is not exactly flat. There's small hills and a lot of small gullies and canyons.
And one of the things that we notice about caribou is they like to be comfortable. If they're being eaten by bugs, the only thing that they're concentrated on is being eaten by bugs. They're not paying attention to what's around them. They work as an entire group. Many times we got in front of them with the right wind direction and they would run right to us. There's this chaos, there's this sporadicness.
These caribou are not gonna sit still for those bugs. And it's funny to watch caribou. You'll see them run down into a mud flat and snort and shake their head, and they'll stand there for a little bit and then they'll take off on a dead run. You know, Jimmy and Kurt and Robert and I are getting all of our gear ready, and I know that Jimmy's not gonna sit still. You know, we head up on this rock, and Robert's just telling me, now Ray, just be patient. Let the caribou come to you. You don't chase caribou. That's what my guide kept telling me, you don't chase caribou. These guys I'm hunting with, they don't play that game that way. We don't like to sit still. Game's moving, we're moving. Let's go get them.
Ray, I just whittle your way up there. I mean, the odds are that they'll blow out of there before you get there, but at least you can try, right?
I mean, from 90 yards out, it's wide open. But the way the bugs are bothering, who knows?
You know what? They're standing right on the rock because down in this marshland are all the bugs.
I'm just gonna go right around the back edge of this, stay close to the bush, and I'll just cut across that last. If they let me get 50 yards, they'll let me get closer.
You know what, man? I'm gonna stay right here and I'll watch the whole thing go down so you go around and see what happens.
Big toes.
It's like 31 yards. This is unbelievable. These caribou, the bugs are bothering them so bad. They don't want to leave this rock because they've got good wind. The bugs are eating me up. I'm gonna get this big bull.
I cannot believe he snuck all the way up there. Now the problem is that bull's got to physically come clear to make sure he can fire an arrow into a safe direction with a pass through.
You know, the great thing about caribou is none of them are ever identical. The ultimate caribou has two big double shovels, huge beds, and huge points on top with long main beams.
He's drawn.
Got him. The bull was hard quartering away and you can just see the spot on him. That was one of the best stalks I've ever seen in my entire life.
Look at this nice bull. Right between Josh and I, and Jimmy, and Kurt, and Robert. He's got nice back points, decent bull. Another couple years, he'll be a stud bull. Can you believe this? It's midday, it's hot. These caribou don't want to move. They're trying to stay out of the bugs. It allowed me to slip up here 30 yards on the spot. The biggest challenge here, once I got in close, was having a wide enough opening to shoot an arrow without hitting 2 caribou. Finally happened. Caribou in the salt.
Ray, I'm not gonna walk up on this caribou first, bud. Go at it. You gotta put your hands on that thing.
You've got the tops I was looking for.
I mean, this is just the bull of bulls, huh, Kurt?
This has been one of the better ones we've seen all week, no doubt about it.
Well, Mr. Bunny,
Patience, Jimmy.
congratulations. Congratulations. You did it a great shot.
Thing again. What is that all about?
He knows that I have no patience. I like to chase things, but you did a great job, dude. That was really fun. It was exciting to watch all those bulls all herd up like that. I had no idea that you were gonna be able to stalk in there and get this done.
You just thought I was another caribou. I just go slow.
You know what the good news is? It's my turn and I have a tag. And I had a fist fight with some black flies. Bring 100% DEET and use a thermocell whenever possible, guys. Anyway, Adrian!